guys, it's Kid Steph and welcome back to another video. So it's been a while since I've done a story time, so that's what we're gonna do today. As you can tell by the title, this is going to be about my first time skipping in high school. Before you say anything, like, I know like everybody skips in high school, this is gonna sound dramatic, you know, like I already know this is kind of stupid to even talk about, but I thought it was a story to tell and I'll tell you what happened. Where should we start? First, let's start off with, I used to be in choir. It was my junior year last year. In choir, we go on lots of field trips, and this particular time was everybody's tradition was to skip after we got back from the field trip. So this was our first year being able to do it because we were juniors, we had spots in the parking lot. In past years, I've seen older upperclassmen leave during this particular time after we got back, and I never thought anything about it, but for some reason, once we got back, we were like, this is the field trip that everybody usually skips right when we get back, just so we don't have to go back to class for like the last hour of school, you know? Right out of the choir room, there's like a door, literally like right there to get out of the school. And there were a few people that actually weren't gonna do it, but then by the time we got out, we were like, hey, just pop out, like, just come out, we're all going somewhere, you know, blah, blah, blah. A lot of us decided to leave, and we went right out of the door right next to the choir room. And you'll find out why that's significant later. I decided to hang out with my friends Grace and Jake, and we were like, where should we go? So we didn't know what to do. We had like an hour to spare before like going home or whatever. I had to go back to school to pick up Beth. Did I do that? If you didn't know, Beth was my sister, and I don't know how she got home that day now that I say that. Maybe she got a ride with somebody else? I don't know. We decided to go to Goodwill because I think some of them were looking for clothes, and I was looking for some clothes for like a Halloween costume because this was in like October of last year. And so we went to Goodwill and we ended up texting our friend Quincy, who was going to go back to class. We were like, hey, you should come with us. And so before she even got to the classroom, she happened to pop out and go out a different door, and then she met up with us. We're in Goodwill, everything's cool, like we're just, you know, having fun. And then we were like, oh, I didn't find necessarily what I needed here. So we were like, let's go to Plato's Closet. Plato's Closet is another place, kind of like Goodwill, but except it's like buy, sell, trade. It's not just like purely donations, and it's for, I'd say, teen girls, young adult girls, I don't know, and boys. Sorry, there's boy clothes in there. Anyway, so we all decide to go there and look for more clothes, and everything's fine, but then Grace comes up to us and is like, hey, I just got a text. It was a text from another girl that was in Grace's class during this block that we were missing. The girl was saying, hey, our teacher doesn't understand why you're not back, because I believe there was another girl on the field trip that did go back to class, or maybe she didn't. The teacher noticed that they never came back. This particular teacher follows the rules, like pays attention to that kind of stuff. The teacher that I had was very like laid back. I'm sure he didn't even remember that I happened to go on a choir trip that day. So we're in Plato's Closet getting these texts, and Grace is like, crap, I've been caught. So Grace was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back up to the school and I'm gonna talk to her and apologize, because Grace cares about this teacher and likes this teacher. So she was like, I want to make sure we're, you know, on good graces. Grace on good graces. Oh my gosh, I'm so funny. Basically, because of this specific teacher told, of course, the choir teacher that she was skipping. Grace never told any names, but because our choir teacher found out and it became a bigger deal, the school administration decided, hey, let's check the cameras. Just to double check, I guess, even though Grace didn't fib anyone out. So it was kind of funny. The next day, I was in my Spanish class and I'm getting all these texts from different people in my choir class. And they're like, hey, just so you know, just got called into the office. I have a 3-hour detention. They were basically warning me that I'm gonna get called in. Of course, somebody comes in with a pass, they give it to my teacher, and my teacher gives it to me, and she's like, okay, you're needed, you know, in administration. And what's really funny is I love this teacher so much. And it's funny because she handed it to me, and she was like, okay, you could go now. I know it's nothing. She literally goes, I know it's nothing. I know you're not in actual trouble. And I was like, I ended up going to the office and they made me do a 3-hour detention. This was the only detention I've ever gotten, like, throughout all of high school, and it was 3 hours, and it was just after school one day. I've never even gotten a detention in like middle school, like a lunch detention, you know, like I've done pretty good. What my parents always quote me saying is that I don't regret it, and I don't regret it. I happened to get stuff done that I was gonna do like during the weekend or after school anyway, like going to Goodwill and getting parts of the costume, and I happened to get that done during class. Key note: so we walked out of the door by the choir room, and of course that's one of the cameras that of course they're going to check that because we just came from a choir field trip. So they checked that camera. But here's the thing, is Quincy never got caught and never got called in to do a detention. And that's because she used another door. They happened to not check that camera. So if I would have gone a different way, I probably wouldn't have had to do a detention, which is very irritating, and I still think about it to this day. I'm like, dang, this is unfair that I had to do a detention and some people didn't, and there was a possibility that I didn't have to. And I think about it, not all the time, but I do think about it when I do think about this situation. So that's what happened when I skipped for the first time. I'm trying to remember if I skipped again. I've skipped school, you know, like full days, which is different. I've never like been to school and then just decided to leave randomly since then, I don't think. Oh wait, yeah, I did. Shh, don't say anything. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and comment down below on this video. Down in my description is all the links to all my social media. Along with the first link is the link to my merch store. So if you want a Coot Stuff shirt, go down there. And if you're not already a Cootie, be sure to subscribe to be a part of the Coot Clan. And I'll see you guys in next Friday's video. Bye!